Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to have you here tonight. My name is Bob Clark, and this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a really awesome night. I've been looking forward to it all week. I have with me my buddy, my partner in crime over here, Nick Havner. Nick, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Bob.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, if you haven't been on my webinars before, a couple things. Number one is I start on time. Okay, I don't wait around for stragglers. So if you're here, congratulations. I'm going to give you something cool in a minute. And number two is just it's interactive. Okay, so you want to ask questions, ask questions. I'm going to make this totally interactive, and I'm here basically to help you tonight in whatever you're struggling with, especially with your part-time stuff. So while you're hanging here, first a question. Okay, I just want to get an idea of whether you guys consider yourself part-time or full-time. Okay, part-time or full-time. Just enter it in the chat here. Let me know what you consider yourself, because part-time takes many different forms. A lot of people think it's a traditional job that you go to, and that puts you into the part-time mode. But it's really a lot more than that. It's a lot to do with whatever is stressing you out in terms of time and how much time you actually have to devote to your business. And I think, based on that broader category, probably 95% of people in this industry are part-time. So I think that we're really heading in the right direction, trying to really help you guys who are building part-time get out of your struggles, get out of your own way, and get into productive mode and get into results, frankly. So Pamela says part-time, IFO or EFO, part-time. Richard, part-time. Richard, good to have you. Good, guys, great to have you here. Thanks for coming out. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on. I appreciate you so much for being here. Quick tip, okay, because you guys are here early. I want to give you a quick tip. I want to talk to you about the power of routines, okay? One of my biggest strategies or reasons that I do so well part-time is I'm a big believer in routines. Okay, now we all have routines, right? I mean, I have a morning routine. Nick, do you have a morning routine?
I do now. It's changed. My morning routine today was very cool. It was interesting. I actually woke up, made some breakfast and tea for Kayla. She went to work, and then I came upstairs and listened to Psycho-Cybernetics for 2 hours, taking notes, drinking my tea. And so I want to start my day always not coming, like when you dream, sometimes you wake up and you have crappy dreams. Sometimes you'll wake up groggy. Sometimes you'll wake up and your mind's kind of out of control. It's scattered, because that's what happens in sleep. So I always want to do something, even if it's just read some kind of book like Marcus Aurelius Meditations, something that is of a higher vibration than I'm waking up out of. So
Right.
That's my morning routine.
That's awesome. And I have mine too. I mean, everybody has their little routine where you wake up, you brush your teeth, you take your shower, whatever your routine is. Mine basically is I drag myself out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I take my shower, I brush my teeth, and I get in the car and I listen to Mindset all the way into the hospital. So that's my kind of routine to get going in my day. And then when I get there, I have a little bit of breakfast and I'm ready to go. So we all have routines. We have morning routines. We have evening routines. We have routines with our family. You need to have routine for work, for your business time. Okay, if you don't have it, then you're kind of going to be haphazard all over the place. I have a very strict business routine that I really try to adhere to, and you know what? It's changed, and you're going to learn a little bit about that story tonight. But my routine has changed over time, and it's simplified, and I'm going to go through some of that tonight. But I want to make sure you understand that you need a routine, okay? Because we're creatures of habit. As humans, we're creatures of habit, and if you can get into a routine where you basically do stuff kind of without even thinking about it, you're just doing it, then you're going to be moving forward in your business a lot faster than someone who doesn't have routines. So be thinking about routines. I'm going to talk a lot about more about that during the webinar tonight. But just keep that in mind, the importance of routines. It's super important. Okay, I'm just looking here. IFO, awesome. I had the book Psycho-Cybernetics also. So IFO or EFO, I hope you're pronouncing your name right. You are right in line with Nick there. That's awesome. Guys, I want to tell you a story tonight. And I think it's a compelling story. It's a compelling story for me. Nick thought it was compelling. I shared with a bunch of people kind of privately. They thought it was very compelling. So I want to tell you about it because it really changed a lot about my business, and it really challenged me in a super big way. Okay, so I don't know if some of you guys don't know my history. I'm a medical professional, okay, a healthcare professional. I've been in this field of infertility for, gosh, 25 years, maybe going on 26 years, maybe even more. I lost count. But I've been in the job I'm in right now in New York for about 15 years. Okay, and for much of that, I was a senior scientist. Let's put it that way. So I had a senior level, but I wasn't administrative. I didn't have to really worry about too much of managing people. I was just doing my science, doing my lab work, helping people get pregnant, and I was very, very happy in doing what I was doing. And about 9 months ago is when the story really starts. I got called into my director's office, my laboratory director's office, and he congratulated me and said I'd been promoted. And I thought, well, that's very cool. I should get promoted. I work hard. That's awesome. And I got promoted to laboratory supervisor, and with a bump in pay. And I thought that's very cool. I'm really liking that. And everybody kind of congratulated on me on it, and I got very psyched about it. What I didn't realize when I took that promotion, which I really didn't have much of a choice, but what happened was everything started changing in my life, especially regarding time. Okay, so before I got the promotion, I had this kind of routine. We're talking about routines, okay? I had a routine where I would, I'd work from like 6 in the morning till 5 or 6 at night, maybe probably 5 o'clock. I'd drive home, have dinner with my wife, Rosemary, and from about 7:30 to 9:30 every day, that was my business time. Okay, and I got a lot done in 2 hours because I had a routine. I knew exactly, I had 4 things I was going to do, and I did them almost every single day. And that was my routine. So when I got this promotion about 9 months ago, what started to happen was I had a lot more duties, administrative duties, dealing with people. Anybody who does that knows that can be really draining. And our patient volume skyrocketed for whatever reason during that time. Our patient volume skyrocketed. So instead of working from 6 in the morning till 5, I was working 6 till 7 or 8 sometimes. And by the time I got home, I was dragging. I just couldn't function. Mentally, physically, I was drained. I get home, I didn't have time. We didn't have time to make any dinner, so I would just basically grab fast food on the way home, try to jump in the shower, and basically pass out and go to bed, wake up the next day and do the same thing. And I was doing this 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And the days I had off, it was just basically recovery mode. It just I wasn't really present too much to be able to do anything. I felt terrible physically. I felt guilty for not working on my business. I felt guilty for avoiding or for basically not being able to spend time with my family members that I usually did. And the business too, because the business, I'd spent a lot of time building this up to something that was really moving, and all of a sudden the wheels didn't come off, but they sure slowed down. And I felt guilty about that. I really want to do more. I was frustrated. Like I said, I couldn't make dinner, so I ate fast food and I gained 25 pounds. My health was starting to suffer. I was a complete mess, okay? Very few people knew about this. I was kind of suffering in silence. And really, I was trying to figure it out because I knew, like I had been teaching other part-timers my strategies for a while, for many, many years, and I knew they worked for me, so I felt fine with that. But I was never challenged in this way before. I was never challenged physically, mentally, to the point of exhaustion, and figure out how the hell am I going to fit my business into this. And I'll be honest, I want to be transparent here. It pretty much held me back for 2-3 months. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what to do. And a lot of the mindset that comes in with it at that point, a little bit of a pity party going on, why me? Why can't I break through this? I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. All those things that, I thought I had banished from my mindset because I work on it pretty hard, came flooding back in. And I had to kind of redouble my effort to get rid of those doubts, or at least throw them out of my head again as they were before. So maybe you don't get rid of those doubts ever. Maybe they're always hanging around, but maybe the mindset work keeps them at bay. And all this stuff that was going on in my life kind of brought them all back in. The insecurities, the thoughts of maybe I can't do this, maybe I don't have what it takes. It was all there. It was all there, and it was frustrating, to say the least. So that's where I was. Okay, and it has a happy ending because I'm here, right? If it didn't have a happy ending, I wouldn't be here right now. So you can know it has a happy ending, this story. But looking back on it, I really wasn't cognizant of what actually I was doing at the time to get through this. I was just trying to figure it out as I went. And what I want to give you basically is my 6-pronged approach to getting through really trying times in your life. Okay, because I kind of nailed it down to, okay, I did this, 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 and this. That's really how I got through it. And, you don't have to use them all. You don't have to do all of it. But not only will this help you if you get really challenged in your business like I was, but I think this kind of thing can help you basically in the really, really trying parts of your life as well. So let me just take a sip here. Nick, do you have any comments before I go forward?
No, I like this story, and I like where it leads to because it's a big breakthrough. And I think a lot of people are in the same situation that you were in still, and need to hear, for one, that they're not alone, and two, there is a way to actually work it out and make it work for them too.
Right. I will say that's true. I had talked to a lot of part-timers, and whether it's extreme as that situation or not, they're feeling just as challenged. Okay, they don't have the time to devote to really pretty much anything really solidly in their life, and they're all over the place, and they're trying to figure it out, and trying to figure out the whole business thing as well. So you're right. It's where a lot of people are now, and I do want to show you that there's a way out because I found it, and it took a while. But like I said, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing the whole time. I tried things that worked, tried things that didn't work, but in the end, it has a very happy ending. So number 1, okay, I made a decision. I know that sounds simple, but I really had a decision to make. Okay, was I going to let this stop me from building my business? My business basically was my retirement. Okay, it was what I was going to use when I wanted to retire on my own terms. Was I going to stop it and abandon it so that I could just basically put everything I had back into my job, and hopefully I lived through it? Was I gonna do that, or was I gonna just say I'm building a business? I'm gonna find a way to do it, and that's all there is to it. So that was number 1. I had to make that decision. I made the decision, and I did it with my wife. Okay, we sat down one night. We were just sitting there, having, I don't know, a glass of whatever, wine, or I don't know what it was we were drinking. And I explained to her, she kind of knew exactly what was going on because she's experienced some of it with me, and we talked about this as a family, and I said, look, I really want to make this work. I have this vision of myself and you, my wife, being on the beach on a retirement, enjoying it, make it with the money coming in from our part-time from our business, and retiring on our own terms and not being dependent on our kids or anybody else, and just doing it the way we want to do it. And we share that vision, and it's a very strong pull for us. So that helped me say, okay, the decision is I'm going for this. Okay, and as simple as that sounds, that kind of just took everything to a different mindset for me, because gone were any thoughts of giving up. Okay, those were gone. That wasn't going to happen. That's not an option, and I was going to make this work no matter what. I know you've heard that before, probably. Other people have talked about it, but it's so powerful. It's liberating. You make that decision. Okay, I don't know how exactly I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to make it work. Okay, you guys digging this story? Let me know if you're digging this story in the chat. I'm going to keep going, so I'll wait for your comments in a bit. So that's the first thing, make the decision. The second one was I set my intentions. What did I intend to do? And I just told you basically what my intentions were. And my intentions were to figure out a way to build this business, even though I had a lot of time challenges right now. Figure out a way to do it, and live that life of my dreams that I've been, that I have as my vision. That was my intention. I set the intention. And number 3 is I made a stand. Okay, now this is going to be weird for some of you guys to hear, and maybe you think you can't do this, but hear me out. I made a stand with my boss. I went in, and I didn't want to say I had a side business. They don't know that part of my life, so I don't want to bring that on. But I basically said, look, I love working here, but this job is killing me right now, and I need to figure out a way that I can do it and survive and be happy at the same time. And we had about an hour conversation. And he's a strict guy, but he's also pretty, straight. And he's a caring person, I have to say. And in the end of it, we came out with, he couldn't really give me any less time per day. So that was my job. That's what I was doing, and I had to do that job. So, but what we came up with was that he would give me an extra day off every week if I took some weekend time for him, because he was working weekends. And I did that because to me, it was worth, because I live I work in New York, the commute's terrible. It was a good switch for me because the commute on the weekend's much easier. It's not as draining for me. I don't have to commute an hour and a half home at night, even though I only live 15 miles away, but it's an hour and a half commute at night during the week. So that was a great switch for me. I didn't mind it. My kids are growing up, so I could do it. If I had young kids, maybe that wouldn't have been so good. So for me, that worked really well. So can you make that kind of a stand with your boss? I don't know if you can, but give it a try. Okay. Maybe it's not your boss. Maybe you have other time challenges. Make a stand with people. Okay. Make a stand, and don't assume that it won't work. Like I could have easily assumed I can't go talk to my boss. My job is my job. I have to accept it. And that's all there is to it. Okay, but I didn't. I went in, I had a frank conversation. He could have said no, and I would have had to figure out another way, and I would have. But he gave me an alternative that worked for me. And I didn't really work. I'm not working any less hours, even though I had that extra day off, because I'm working weekends. I'm working longer time on the weekends. But that's what worked for me, okay? And I've been able to take that and run with it and be successful. And the fourth thing I did, which was hard for me because I'm really not that good at it, or wasn't that good at it, I'm a lot better at it now, is I started saying no a lot. Okay, I started saying no to a lot of people that I'd always say yes to, about certain things at work, taking on extra things at work, taking on extra things from my family members, taking on things from my friends. People had a tendency to ask me to do a lot of things, and I would always say yes, because I wanted to help and I wanted to please. I mean, I think be honest, that's what part of it is. So I started saying no a lot, and it was really damn uncomfortable. All right. It was really hard at first because I felt guilty saying no to these people. I really didn't want to go that route, but I knew that I had to guard my time with my life. And that's really what it came down to. I had to guard my time with my life. I had to take it that seriously. I had to guard my time like I'd guard my children, and be that stringent on it, and say no to a whole lot of people, and only say yes when I knew that I could do it, and that somehow it would work for me and it wouldn't take away from all my other time. Okay, so say no a lot, guys. Get used to it. Just start out saying no once a day that you usually say yes, and build it up. And pretty soon, like now, it doesn't bother me as much to say no. Once in a while, if I say no to a friend, I feel kind of bad, but I still do it, because I know I have to protect that time. It's the only way I'm going to get through this. So say no a lot. And like I said, my routine. Okay, I told you what my routine was before. Well, I knew that I couldn't keep doing that routine. I just didn't have the time every single day to do it. Some days I might be able to do it. Like I have a day off, I could possibly do it. And I have some strategies of that in another course I'll tell you about later. But I knew I couldn't on a regular basis do this routine. And I didn't want to get into a situation where I was going to feel guilty for not doing everything on my to-do list, or not finishing my routine and feeling bad about it. So I downsized it. Okay, I downsized it. I basically came up with what I call my one thing to do today. And that is, what is the one thing in my business that I could do that would have the most impact on my business today? And that changes with the day, but most times it's engaging with my list. I have a small list. It's not a huge list, but it's a list that's very we talk a lot, we communicate a lot, and it's a nice, it's just a conversation basically a lot of times. So I write to my list every day. Okay, maybe I miss one day here or there, but pretty much I write to my list every day, and I get emails back and I get conversations going, and it helps me to build trust with people on my list and build credibility, which is very important when you're talking about when you make an offer for something, and people will trust you, and they believe in you. So that's one thing I know, that I'm going to do that every single day. Now I say sometimes it changes. Sometimes I want to create an ad, and that's going to have the biggest impact. Or if I want to write a sales page, and that's going to have the biggest impact. So it does change a little bit, but I try to pick the one thing and go for that. And if I finish it, then I can go for another one, but I don't put it on my list. Okay, I have an idea. You always have an idea of what you need to do, right? I mean, you don't really need to have it listed out. It's nice though. But I only put one thing on my list every day. And if I can cross that out, I'm okay. Okay, I did that thing. At least it's my ground zero kind of thing, where that's the least I have to do. But if I get it done, my business moves forward a little bit that day. Because what was happening was, when I was so overwhelmed by everything that was going on, I'd sit down and be like, oh, I can't do all the 4 things I usually do, and I don't even know which one I should do, and I can't do it, so forget it. I'm gonna bail. I'll do it tomorrow. It's a fresh day. I'll try again tomorrow. And one day became 2 days, and 2 days became a week, and a week became 2 weeks, and I hadn't really done almost anything except maybe some mindset work. That's all I did. And things drop off. You guys know, you don't do anything, you don't take action, things drop off pretty fast. And that's what was happening. And when I told Nick this story, it was kind of after the fact, where I was starting to come out of it, and he helped. We talked about it. He helped me with some other stuff, but it was to that point where I was almost like, one more day, I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I know I can do the 4 things tomorrow. And then the time didn't come. And my business really suffered, and I knew I had to do something. So downsizing your routine, okay, downsizing your list to one or 2 things. I prefer to keep it to one thing. Keep it really simple. That's really worked for me. That's all I can tell you, is that's really worked for me. And many days I can get more than one thing done, but at least I always get one thing done. And it may not seem like a lot, but if you're moving this far forward in your business, at least you're moving that far forward, and you're not back here. Okay, so if you keep doing that every single day, all of a sudden you're over here, where if you hadn't done anything, you'd still be here. So don't negate the small stuff. The small stuff, even if it's very small, if it's helping you build your business, you got to do it. And finally, the last thing, I started really getting real with myself. And I thought, what do I really enjoy doing? Okay, because I knew that if I'm tired, if I'm exhausted, if I just really need to go to sleep, if I was going to do one thing for my business, it had to be something that I enjoyed doing. Right? It had to be fun for me. And for me, writing to my list is fun. Okay, I enjoy kind of making up the story, or developing the story, interacting with people, asking them questions, and I enjoy reading their emails back. So to me, that's fun. So what do I enjoy? What was I fun at? And then the second question is, how can I get other people or tools to do the other things for me that I don't want to do? And that has to do with outsourcing. It has to do with using tools, automated tools that can help you do certain things. And I had used that stuff before, but I kind of took that to a new level. Okay, and that's also helped me a lot. So really, it was these 6 approaches, these 6 things that I did. Okay, I made a decision. I made the decision. I set my intention. I took a stand with my boss, which that was kind of hard for me. I started saying no a lot. I downsized my routine, and I started doing things that I really, really enjoyed and loved to do. And when I did all that, put that package in place, all of a sudden the weight came off, and things started rolling again. And if you guys actually read the story on the registration page, but it does have a happy ending. It has a happy ending of me and my daughter finally spending a day together. I hadn't spent a day with my daughter in so long. She lives in Pennsylvania. I live in New Jersey, and I hadn't been able to get enough time away to see her. And finally, we got time to spend the day in New York together. And we went over to the World Trade Center site, the museum over there, And we sat there and we ate some ice cream, and we just talked about that day because we were together on that day in New York. And we talked about our reflections. She was only like 10 years old or less, maybe 8 years old when that happened. But she had some amazing insights into all that stuff that happened that day. And it was just a really fun day. And I'd missed that so much. And I wouldn't, if I hadn't done these 6 things that I told you, I wouldn't be able to do that. That wouldn't have happened for me. And by the way, while I was doing that, I had emails going out and I had leads coming in. And it was because I was taking those steps and taking those little pieces of action along the way that were working for me. Second thing, my wife and I just came back from a really nice trip in the Bahamas. We were kind of just chilling out. We got a week off from work, which is cool. We got a week, and we went to the Bahamas, and we were actually laid on the beach, sipping drinks. I think my wife was drinking Bahama Mama. I don't know what I was drinking. Maybe the same thing. And I remember going back to the hotel room and seeing, I'd made a sale. I had leads coming in. Things were happening, and it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling to have all that happen. And then the last great thing that happened as part of this was, I don't know how many of you guys went to the No Excuses event in Las Vegas in June last month, but I actually was able to, through the work that I'd done, I made it up onto stage at No Excuses, got an award for being one of the top affiliates for a company called Elite Marketing Pro, which is one of the ones I represent there. I work with, and I got up on stage with Fernie Ceballos and Tim Irway and had a nice picture taken. And what, I even have it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I wanted to show it to you because it's very cool. I don't know if you can see this or not. Maybe you can see it, but that's the award. Basically, it's for being one of the top affiliates over the last couple of years, and that was super exciting and really got my engines rolling again and got me fired up to get back up there and do more. So it is a happy ending. Okay, it's a happy ending that came about through a lot of soul searching, a lot of trial and error, a lot of, like I said, making that decision that I wasn't going to give up no matter what. And I told the story today because I think you guys can learn from it. Maybe you're not going through the same thing, but you might be going through something similar. And those 6 steps will help you. I'm telling you guys, those 6 steps that I outlined will help you get through almost anything if you can do it. And I just think that's going to really help. Nick, do you have anything you want to add before I move on?
Well, I would like to hear if there's an opportunity to learn more from you. That would be great.
Yes, of course there is. Guys, I'm just going to read your comments for a second. Ifo says he loves my emails. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Richard's digging it. Pam was digging it. John, your transparency helps so many of us. Awesome. Sometimes you don't want to tell stories like this because you don't want to admit that, you came to the brink of quitting. But I think it's really important, and I think it helps a lot of people because I think everybody has thoughts of quitting. Okay? At some point or another, everybody has thoughts of, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this when my friends are going to the ball game and I'm staying home to work on my business? Why am I doing this when my coworkers are going home and laying on the couch and eating dinner and falling asleep on the couch and just relaxing? Why am I busting my chops here? Everybody has those thoughts. So the fact that I had them shouldn't be a surprise. I know sometimes I look really well put together and I have it all going on, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes life is messy. It gets in the way. Things don't go according to your routines or your plans, and it just doesn't work. And you have to have a way to get through that. Okay. My buddy Diane Hockman calls that cockroach marketing, or cockroaching your life, which basically means finding a way no matter what. And if you want to succeed, because you're going to have these kind of challenges in your business if you haven't already. If you're going to succeed, you've got to do that. Okay, you've got to take a no prisoners mentality and go for it and just say, there's no excuse. I'm going to do this. I don't know how. And you don't always have to know how. That's one of the great things about it. You don't have to know how, but you need to know that you will. Okay, and that stopping is really not an option. Okay, so I'm done preaching. I'm going to get off my pulpit here. I want to show you guys something cool. before I share my screen, I want to. So here's the deal. Okay, I give a lot of my time strategies away. I've been talking in webinars a lot. I've been talking in my emails a lot. I'm giving a lot of my tips away. Not totally in depth, but I talk a lot about time, and I talk a lot about how to get through time struggles. And I've been talking to enough people now that I know that in general you guys aren't getting it, because I see the same people stuck in the same thing, struggling over and over, not getting through these time struggles. And let's face it, the number one struggle for a part-timer is time. All right? Time is almost always the reason why people are struggling. For me and for most part-timers, it's your greatest asset. Okay, you can make more money, you can never make more time. You've heard that before. For a part-timer, that is so true. Okay, so I wanted to say, okay, I was like, how can I help? Because what I'm doing isn't enough. Okay, it's just not enough. So what I decided to do is put together something that was so in-depth and so complete that I just know it's going to help people. So what I'm going to do is, Nick, I'm going to show my screen here for a minute, and hopefully I break technology a lot, guys, so hopefully I'll make this work. And number one is you can't laugh about my desktop because I know it's a total mess. I'm working on something, so we'll see if it's a total mess or not. Okay. Nick, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
All right. So hopefully when I do this, the slides will advance as promised or as hoped. So guys, like I said, I want to put together something really comprehensive for you guys who are struggling with your time, because a lack of time should never stop you from your dreams. Okay, it just shouldn't, and too many times it does, and it breaks my heart when it does. I see people fall off the marketing planet. I never see them again, and I know it was because of their time. I know it, and I know that I want to take this to a different level and go deeper with people so that they don't let that happen. Okay, so I developed something called the Part-Time Abundance Plan. Okay, the single biggest waste of time. The single biggest waste of time for marketers is something that I'm going to reveal very early in the Part-Time Abundance Plan. It is the single biggest waste of time that 95% of people fall into the trap. I'll bet every one of you guys in this webinar have fallen into the trap. Maybe one person hasn't. And I'm going to talk about that in the Part-Time Abundance Plan. I'm going to teach you my simple formula for taking back your time and understanding where you're wasting it. And by doing that, you're going to be able to double, maybe even triple your productivity. This is it's a very simple formula that I use. And when you do it, you're going to be amazed at how much time that you actually have that you didn't know, and how you can use it very effectively. I'm going to give you my 13 best time hacks. Okay, I'm not crazy about the word hacks, but that's the best description for it I can think of. It's my best tips, my best strategies for adding more time to your day, okay? For basically morphing your time into something different so that you add more business time to your day. And like I said, there's a lot more there than you think there is. There's little nooks and crannies you don't even know about. And you can use all that time to develop your business in your day. And that's really one of the ways I've been able to do this so successfully. I'm going to show you three of my favorite online productivity tools. Okay, these tools, the two of them are free. One of them you can get a free trial, test it out. I'm going to show you what they are. And I use these to stay more focused at my computer, okay, during my business time, and really help me get more results in the process. These are really cool. They do different things. One of them helps basically you can access certain sites when you're there. One of them actually tells me how productive I'm being with my time on my computer, and one of them helps me focus really, really well. So I'll show you those as well. Those are kind of my little secret productivity tools that I have in my toolbox. And finally, I'm going to show you why you need to abandon the concept of trying to balance your time and what to do with it instead. Balancing your time, guys, I go into this really in depth in the abundance plan, but balancing your time is the biggest myth that is perpetrated in life, okay? You can't balance your time if you're going to do something extraordinary. The only people who really balance their time are people who are mediocre in everything. Okay, because you can't please everybody. You can't be everything to everybody. If you're going to achieve anything great, it's going to be in the extremes, one way or the other. You're going to have to dive into it, spend extra time on it, extra attention. And when you do that, time naturally goes away from something else, right? So you're not going to balance your time. You'll be chasing it forever unless you just want to be a people pleaser and be everything to everybody and be mediocre at everything. And I know that's not you guys. If you're here tonight, you're not that. You're wanting to up your game. You're wanting to go for greatness. And the only way you can do that is to go for unbalance. Can I go into this much, much deeper in the abundance plan? But that's a really, really key concept. So what's in the abundance plan? It's 5 high impact videos, audio downloads so you can take these lessons with you on the road, wherever you want to go, listen to them, and a part-time action plan so that you can implement what I talk about. Okay, it's no good to just watch the videos or listen to the audios. You got to have a plan for implementing this stuff, and that's what I give you in the part-time abundance plan. And for everybody who's listening to a webinar, either live or the recording, I'm going to give you guys a bonus webinar, which I'll do sometime in the very near future, on how to outsource. Okay, how to outsource effectively, never be disappointed in results, never get taken, and basically how to do it so that it'll free up so much more of your time, and it's not as expensive as you might think. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so for all this you get, I tally this up, and the retail value is $179. Okay, it's probably more than that because it took me like years and years to gather all this information. But today, I want to make this available to everybody. I want this to be like a no-brainer for you guys. Okay, so for today, I'm going to ask you to invest only $29 to get this entire course. And I think for that, it's an absolute steal. And I'm going to be honest with you, you guys need this stuff because if you're struggling and time is an issue for you, then you need to go deeper. Okay, you need to figure it out kind of the way I did on my own, but I want to help you with your stuff because I can be your guide in this and help you get through that much faster than you can on your own. And this course will certainly get you toward that. So let me come out of screen share for a second and get back to you guys. If I can figure it out. Let's see if I'm back. Am I back, Nick?
Yes, you are.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Okay, guys. I have to, Nick, you have to help me on the technology side here.
Yeah.
I need to display that thing. Let me see.
So you go to Poppins.
Got it. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's
so I'm gonna put in here part-time abundance.com.
Yeah. Guys, you can either go to parttimeabundance.com or there should be now displayed in your chat box an offer for the part-time abundance plan for $29. Just click add to cart and that'll take you right to the order page. $29, guys. This is a steal. I shouldn't be offering it for this price, honestly. But like I said, I understand, and I want so much to help you guys because it's time should never be the reason why you stop chasing your dreams. Okay, there's other reasons that might come up, but time should not be one of them. And I want to take that out of the equation. And the things in this plan, the videos in here, the information in here, pretty much attacks it from every angle I can possibly think of. And I know that you're going to get a huge value from it. So click on that add to cart button and grab this course and start dealing with your time issues because I want you to succeed. Nick, do you have any closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to time, so my biggest thing that I talk about when I'm talking about like time management, I guess you could say, or better like time utilization, is energy. Because everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. So how is it that some people achieve more in those 24 hours than others? And for part-timers, it's a big, obviously, it's the fact that they have a job that they have to go to. And so what you're going to discover is not just ways of managing your time or, the 13 time hacks. You're not just going to learn how to hack time. You're really going to be learning how to hack energy, how to bring more to the limited amount of time that you have. Because you don't necessarily need 2 hours to get something done if you learn how to bring more energy to it. And it's funny because you're not going to learn, like, it's not going to say this is how you have more energy, but you will actually feel more energized when you go into a task and it's actually got a structure to it. When you actually have a plan, you're going to feel more energized, a little bit more empowered. You're going to be able to do more within that time frame, and you're going to be able to do it with more energy. So that's really what this is about. And the coolest thing about this time, actually, I was like really surprised because I was helping Bob set this up. Not only, like, it was supposed to be 3 videos, and then just at the last second, Bob added 2 extra videos, which are fantastic videos in there. The 3 tools, the productivity tools, and then also, and I'm drawing a blank here. I'm going to draw the blank on the other one there because it's so new. What's the other one? Name?
It's about balance, not trying to
balance. The myth of the balance. I like that. It's so true. You absolutely. I mean, you can reach a center point, a balance in your life, but whenever you want to actually make a big leap, you're going to have to do something extreme. You know, you can stay balanced, you can stay there, and you're going to lead a nice, balanced, steady life, or you can leap up. You know, and then you can balance. Wouldn't you rather balance up here than down here? So come to the balance after you learn how to do the leaps of the extreme. So that's pretty cool. And then the outsourcing webinar is going to be absolutely invaluable. As a part-timer, how cool would it be if you could be at work doing your job, because you have to provide for your family, you have to be able to have some money coming in so you can invest in your business, but how cool would it be if you had an assistant over in the Philippines doing a couple things on your business? Your business is growing while you're at work. There's seriously nothing cooler for a part-time business owner than that. That's how you go full-time. You can't do it alone. In fact, I heard, one more thing. So I was recently watching a webinar, Mark Oversight, actually, good buddy of mine. We were just talking, and he was talking about how, and he said at a big number, so he said he read this in the Reader's Digest, that at $250,000, to get over that in earnings, you can't do it alone. Like, most people don't do that alone. But I would say for a part-timer, the same thing applies. Even if you're not earning $250,000, if you're a part-timer, you can't get to full-time alone. And that might mean that you have a very supportive spouse, and that's you not being alone. That might mean that you hire an outsourcer or two, have an assistant. That might mean that you have some kid in the neighborhood who knows technology really well helping you, but you can't do it alone. So find the resources around you, and then use Bob's resources, his intelligence, his tools, in order to give yourself more energy for one when you're working, and also learn how to outsource. So, very cool stuff. $29 is complete steal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. A couple comments on that. Number one is the 2 things that I see people who go part-time. The 2 mistakes I see them making often is, number one, they don't get coached early enough, which I think is one of the best investments of money you can make in your business. But number 2, they're scared of outsourcing. Maybe they've heard horror stories, or they don't know where to start. I believe part-timers should start outsourcing early and often. I've outsourced pretty much since like the 2nd or 3rd year I was in my business. The first 2 years I really didn't know enough to outsource, but after that, I outsource a lot now, and I've done it for quite a while. And you know, that picture of me and Rosemary on the beach drinking our drinks with our feet in the sand and getting commission notices, a lot of that was because I've outsourced some stuff that was working for me while I was laying on a beach. So that's why I'm excited to do that bonus webinar for you guys, because those things, I just learned some things along the way, things I've done wrong, things I've done right. And it's not rocket science. You know, anybody can do it. But there's some little tricks that you need to know along the way so that you hire the best person, and you get the best price, and you get the best results, so you're happy with it. And that's really all you want out of an outsourcer, right? You just want those 3 things. And it's so invaluable for your business. And like I said, you know, people think, well, I don't have the money for that. Well, there's a little site called Fiverr that I use a lot. I don't just use only that site, but I've used Fiverr quite a bit to get a lot of my stuff done for $5. And I mean, don't have coffee that day and go outsource something for $5. It's simple as that. So that's going to be fun. That's the first thing. The second thing is, for people who pick up this course, you will get easier access to me. Okay, I'm pretty busy, but the people who are my customers, I treat them royally, and you guys get a little bit more access to me than people who don't. So just so you know that, I'll be available for you guys and to help you out a lot more for people who purchase the course. So with that, buddy, I think I'm done. I think I tell that story, Nick, and I get into it so much that I get emotionally drained after I tell it. Because
Yeah, I bet.
because I remember it like so vividly, and I'm pretty much through it now. Well, I still have some things to work on it, but I just remember so vividly back like 3 or 4 months ago, where I didn't have it all together, and I know how close I came to quitting, and I did. I mean, I'll be honest, I did, and I'm here, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the people here in the webinar. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for my family, and just really happy that you guys were here tonight so you could hear this, and I hope it helped you out.
Absolutely.
And with that, guys, have a great night. Again, the order there, go to parttimeabundance.com to grab that course for $29. It's a steal. And we'll see you next time. Have a great night.